Hello and welcome back to yet another session. And the question that I keep asking myself, and you as well every time I'm recording these, is why record every image? My assistant is, I hear, agitating, maybe coming to assist. Hello.
Darling, where are you?
I'm in here. Don't know where she gets that sense of humour from. And in a way, I feel that my excuse for the moment
It's lunchtime.
is sorry about the interruptions. Comes from a music lesson I had once where the teacher said, yes, but do you love every note that you're playing? And I played the same passage again.
No.
And he said, yes, but do you love every note? I played it again, and he pushed me and pushed me and pushed me until something clicked, and I just poured myself in to every note that I was playing. And
Hi, Daddy.
hello, Yasmin, how are you?
Can I help you?
Do you want to?
Yes. I'm happy right here. Look, big one. I
To
saw
be continued.
it. I wanted to do it.
These are tricky ones, sweetie. They really are. I've already been having difficulty here.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
Still having difficulty here, actually. I wonder if I
Dad's asleep. Dad's asleep.
if I were to say replace texture instead of create texture instead of content aware. I wonder if that will help more. Let's try that. Obviously, for some things that might work better. In this case, I think it may have worked better. Content aware. So, to go back to what I was trying to say, you have to love every note, he said. And he coaxed it out of me until, boom, I connected with the actual phrase that I was playing, and every single note came into focus and meant something. And that was years ago now, a few years ago, and every practice that I've had since then, and every lesson I've taught, I've tried to connect with that. And I mentioned in a previous video, in a way, it's looking for the contrast there, the actual settings for the print per se. I've made a parallel with reed making on the oboe. Evelyn Rothwell, an oboe great, who wrote the book on oboe technique, literally, of the modern oboe, said that there's very few reeds that can't be made playable, and I sort of my ears perked up because we spend so long fantasizing and looking for the perfect reed and throwing away reeds that aren't quite right, and looking at the cane and knocking it and measuring its density and its thickness, and and as soon as it doesn't look perfect, it's like, well, look, it's not good enough, get rid of it. But what I've been realizing lately is that if you work on making your so-called dud reed or broken reed look good. Make it balanced, make it have the shape, the outline, the contours that will allow it to speak or to sing, then it sounds so much better. Now, why am I talking about music at the same time as photography? Because I have a feeling that all these thousands of photos that I've taken over these many years, I've been enamored with the photographic gesture, and enamored at times with or often with the result of this gesture. But do I love every note of my photos or every photo? Am I as conscious of the gesture as I could be, and of the elements that are at play, the contour, the shape, the way it looks, the thickness? Am I even trying to love everyone, or am I just selecting the candidates for perfect, or for some sort of other criteria of success? Now, I think this is part of an experiment. Now, should I try again the match text, create texture? Let's see what happens here. Kind of messy, right? But it's acceptable all the same, I think. So I guess already from the few photos I've done, I'm gaining some perspective, revisiting, I guess, the why or the what. I'm sure I'm not the first photographer to be caught in this predicament. To want to not let go of, I mean, is this just not wanting to let go of images? Not wanting to go through the pain of choosing? Because after all, isn't photography an act of framing and choosing a segment of something, of a scene, of an image, of time? So for the moment, I would say that's the idea. And yes, as my beloved said, I'll be doing this till the day I die. So the goal maybe isn't to do them all. And when I do finally get around to developing some new ones, which I was maybe going to do today, but I decided for some reason not to, then maybe, when I'm taking these photos and developing them, I'll also, in those gestures, be able to experience a different connection to the significance of that gesture, to love every note. Because in love, now I sound like I'm preaching, but in love, in that gesture filled with love, can come a sort, and I do sincerely believe this, it can come a sort of resonance where your gesture amplifies through an object, in this case the photographic object, to become something greater. I just created something new there, didn't I? Oops. Hard drive's waking up. Something greater than what went into it. It's bigger than the sum of its parts. Resonance, creating resonance. Yes, once again, musical sort of analogy. But we've seen it time and time again with the right photo at the right time in the right place, and it resonates, or even with the concept of viral images. mean, yes, there are times where I've, just almost pressed the button by accident, right? But isn't that also happenstance a part of the photographic gesture, or it can be in any case? Or are these the sort of questions that got the protagonist of Wim Wenders' Lisbon story into trouble? That's a wonderful film if ever I saw one. So yes, a bit more perky today, aren't I? Got a few more things on my mind, I guess. And it's not so late at night, and I'm filming this on a weekend. Decent, restful sleep. I guess you only live once, and if you don't know, if you don't try, you won't know, right? And the advantage is that if you're listening and enjoying hearing me blah blah on, it just gives us an excuse to spend a bit more time together, doesn't it? Now, I hesitated actually about scanning this photo again, not only for the grain, but because there's this whole burnt out section here, which I believe comes from the scan, and also the cassette that was holding the film was not satisfactorily holding the film. It was actually cutting into the image somewhat. Basta. Idofix. Yeah, well, it can get a bit silly sometimes, especially in that first film. I was 17 when I was 17.